Hello YouTube, Brandon from Zoid Industries here, and ta-da, we're back! We're finally back completely! I managed to salvage the previous filming rig by factory resetting it, but we're finally back. This is a resuming of content starting today with ZI Weekly News. This channel's segment where we cover science, sci-fi, gaming, channel updates, and more. With all of that out of the way, let us get into the articles. Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins, in relation to Leroy Jenkins. Sorry, had to. Dang it. Sorry you couldn't see my eyes. Sorry. Gotcha. Basically, I'm trying to balance the tablet and reach the mouse of the computer so I can read the article. Anyway, how Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins cracked the superhero movie glass ceiling. Okay, and gotta admit, that's a cool behind-the-scenes picture. If the editing program you saw the last video was made with, it didn't do the whole watermark thing, I would probably edit this video similarly, but because I want you guys to see me clearly, I'm going to use the editor programs I have on the tablet, mainly because they're a little easier. Even though I can't insert that picture, otherwise I would download the picture and insert it into the video around this point. Okay. In the new film Wonder Woman, our title hero leaves her empowering all-female island of I'm not gonna try, because I'm pretty sure if I did and I butchered it, comic book fans would be on me in an instant. Like, no, it's pronounced this way. Okay, so it's spelled. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust the screen behind you guys so I can read these better. I tried to. There we go. THEMYSEIRA for the tightly corseted society of World War I era London. I'm picking you guys up so you can see my face while I read the articles. Keep in mind the camera might be a little shaky. As her companions coax the Amazon tribe warrior into trading her free-flowing leather skirt for the confining bustle of a male-dominated Western world, Diana Prince has a natural question. How do you fight in this time? Very difficultly, I'm willing to say. Of course, back then, women weren't the fighters. They were the ones working the hospitals, healing the wounded and all that sexist shit. God, trust me, seeing stuff like this, it's impossible not to think, geez, how primitive society was back then. Anyway, back to the article. The scene also reflects the challenge for the film's director, Patty Jenkins, in an industry forever plagued by sexism. Wow, I just had sexism comment in too, so. Her question. She wondered, how do I succeed as the first woman to direct a big budget superhero feature? Well, I'm looking forward to the movie. I've seen nothing but good about it online, so I'm looking forward to it. Even though I probably can't afford tickets at the local theater. $15 a frickin' ticket. Jeez. Her answer is that she refuses to be bound by that question, instead simply trying to succeed as a director, period. Good call. On set, Jenkins can be a physical director, demonstrating to her actors, including star Gail Gadot, because I'm not going to butcher that name, as Wonder Woman. In the precise hand-to-hand combat moves she's looking for, she also summons the emotional truth she's seeking from Diana Prince, a woman who might be new to this patriarchal civilization, yet rarely abandons her sword or her sense of powerful self-possession. I just watched a video on YouTube where these guys who run like a smithing forge for making swords and stuff have made Wonder Woman's sword, and the week previously they made her shield. Or at least replicas of it, not the actual props used in the movie. Replicas that can actually work for defense and cutting. It was awesome. I'll probably link you guys to those videos down there in the description. Jenkins says her emboldened approach applies to both mythic fiction and real Hollywood machinery. What the? Give me a sec, guys. The article's doing something weird. I may cut here and come back when it's... What the hell? I'm cutting here because I gotta reload the page. Because my browser's just crashed. And we're back. Sorry about that. I honestly don't know what the heck just happened. And today's the second day it's done that. And it's being really weird. Anyway. My mom was a second wave feminist. And I heard a lot about it and thought a lot about it. Jenkins tells the Post Comic Riffs, the way she raised me was both super aware that there had been sexism, but also congratulations, thank you, now I get to do whatever I want, Mom. Just a sec, I gotta I'm kind of playing a role-playing game on my phone and filming at the same time. Even though that notification wasn't from the game, it was from another community. Basically, I'm playing through an amino community that I created called Tabletop RPG Adventures, where I'm running a campaign and sort of thing, or adventure, or with another person through the thing. Anyway, back to the article. By presuming as a young woman that equality had been achieved, she wore the armor of a certain naivety that sometimes served her well. Recalls Jenkins, now 45. She was not intimidated by what she did not even recognize. She also says she grew empowered by her. Yeah, you can tell there are words I do not pronounce often in some of these articles. Peripatetic, childhood. Her father was an Air Force or captain, and her mother was an environmental scientist. And so she grew up around the globe, from the West Coast to the American Midwest, from Germany to Thailand. Wow, well traveled. Interestingly, the real revelation for me was, oh my god, it's so wonderful. I'm 10 years old and we have Wonder Woman in the show, and I'm all in love with Linda Carter. I can't wait how great Jenkins says of seeing female empowerment in that 70s network series. He's, oh, huh? Yeah, I can tell I was born post-70s. Jenkins studied painting as a young woman before discovering her chosen career path. Oh, that's it. I want to be a filmmaker, she says, as of the epiphany. It never occurred to me that I couldn't be a director, or that I couldn't be a successful director, and not a woman director, just a director. And so it's stunning to me now to think I'm the first person to do this. How did that happen? Yeah, so, in my opinion, she set good life goals for herself, and look where it got her. Again, I'm optimistic about the movie, because the only Wonder Woman, Justice League, anything I recall seeing is the original animated series on Kids WB and Cartoon Network and all that. And so, yeah, I really have only seen animated Justice League, so I'm looking forward to the movie. But the reason it happened is because, like Deanna, it never occurred to me that it couldn't happen because of the way I was raised. Jenkins created the 2001 short Velocity Rules about a physically awkward housewife turned superhero, and then guided I swear, there are some names in the English language that are so frickin' hard to pronounce when you read them. Chrlize. And I'm thinking the last name is pronounced Theron. On to an Oscar-winning performance in 2003's Monster, where the director has worked mostly in TV since turning down an opportunity to direct a film in Marvel's Thor franchise once she realized that she and the studio wanted to tell different stories. Marvel's like that. Ooh, another cool behind-the-scenes pic. Just a sec, guys. Sorry. Typing, just give me a second. Okay, back to the article. Oh, sorry about that. Uh, Now, as Jenkins receives mostly glowing feedback for Wonder Woman, she feels affirmed in having her egalitarian outlook. Look, I don't think about Wonder Woman as a female film. She's a major superhero. Other directors have their own strategies for thinking past the bias. Amy Heckerling. See, people have hard names. Sometimes it's not even their first name. Who has directed such comedies as Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Look Who's Talking. Great series. The Look Who's Talking series, great series of films. I remember watching them when I was growing up. I'm going to cut here for just a second so that I can respond to that. I am immensely sorry for the constant interruptions and obviously the shaking of the camera. Anyway. Says that while she has faced discrimination in her career, I just tried not to think about it. I could say a million things about different types of unfairness, but I'm like the person who's covering their eyes going, ah la la. Oh, lol. Heckerling in town for a 20th anniversary screening of her movie Clueless last week at the Washington Jewish Film Festival. Well, I'm going to ignore that till the end of this article. Well, notes. If I'm worrying about stuff, it just makes it harder. I try not to even acknowledge the reality. The director also emphasizes the difference between creating empowering work and choosing to be on the front lines as a prominent activist. It's like the Chaplin film where a truck goes by and a red flag falls off the ramp. Is sort of running up to say that they dropped it, and meanwhile a socialist parade comes up behind him and all think he's leading up, as she says, and you go, no, I don't want to pick up the flag and run, I want to forget that it's happening. Last weekend at CANNES, one of the film festival's jurors, Oscar-nominated actress Jessica Chastain decided to hoist that flag, telling reporters that she was disturbed by how many of the female characters in this year's crop of films were unrelatable without agency. One antidote is to that trend, she said, was more female storytellers. That might fix it. Then again, in Hollywood's full of corrupt, big-headed individuals who see the female body and think, oh, I want that. Sad. And Oscar-winning filmmaker Brenda Chapman stands up for being a symbol of trailblazing progress. I look forward to the day when I can just focus on my creative drive, but until there is more equal percentage of women on screen and behind the camera, I have to embrace being a woman in this field. Says Chapman, who was the first woman to direct a Pixar feature film, Brave. I actually like that movie. It was interesting and cool. I liked it. I honestly liked it. I so agree with Greena Davis's words. Again, I might have just butchered that name. If she can see it, she can be it. Martha Larsen. Again, I'm probably butchering some of these names. I'm sorry. Executive Director for the Center for the Study of Women in Television and Film at San Diego State University, celebrates that Jenkins directed an in-full movie with a female protagonist and so wants to see what comes next. This reminds me of the situation surrounding Catherine Bigelow. God. People have hard names to pronounce. And when she won her Oscar for 2008's The Hurt Locker. And she says, at the time, many industry observers and journalists talked about the Bigelow effect, and her well-deserved success would lead to an increase in the number of female directors working on high-profile films. And of course, we know that this effect has yet to materialize, as continues Lausen. Again, I'm butchering. I'm sorry. Noting that women comprised only 7% of directors working on last year's top 250 domestic grossing films, compared with 9% in 1998. Jenkins, meanwhile, advises young women filmmakers to tune out the systematic bias. When they say, how can I make it as a woman, I say, don't think about that fact, because it's only going to hurt you. But because, of course, the sexism is real, well, I don't belittle it. I'm just saying you're only more powerful for forging through. Okay, that's the end of the article. So, on to the next one. Nothing escapes from a black hole, and now astronomers have proof. Is our next article. I might go with a gaming article for the final one, so... Oh, come on, you stupid page. There we go. If you collect more and more matter in a small enough volume of space, it gets harder and harder to escape from its gravitational pull. We'll gather enough mass there, and you'll find that the speed you need to reach in order to escape is greater than the speed of light. From within that region, escape is impossible, and you have a black hole. From further out, where the escape velocity is lower than the speed of light, matter and radiation can make it out. The border of these two regions is known as the event horizon, and is one of the most important predictions of general relativity that's never been tested until now. Sorry, had to get the dramatic voice. Oh, video. Add to the watch later to link you to. That is, where the signs that matter completely disappears when it crosses over cannot be ignored. At the center of our galaxy, we find the largest black hole within more than 1 million light years. By observing the orbits of the stars in its vicinity, we can determine that there's an object with the mass around 4 million suns, that occasionally flares in certain wavelengths, X-ray and radio, of light, that emits no visible infrared light, and that is consistent with a black hole. But we've never determined whether it truly has an event horizon or not. Sure, general relativity has been successful every time we've been able to test it out, but every new challenge is a new opportunity to learn something new about the universe. God, try saying that 5 times fast, right? God. There are always alternatives to consider, and there are a whole class of modifications to gravity we can make that make it possible for event horizons to not exist at all. In these scenarios, instead of an event horizon surrounding a singularity, a giant mass like this would have a hard surface that objects could smash themselves against, and since this were the case, you'd be able to tell the difference in one of 2 ways. First, and most obvious, this way would be with direct imaging. If you could achieve sufficiently good resolution, a telescope would be able to see the event horizon for itself, or to find no event horizon at all if one of the alternatives to general relativity were true. The Event Horizon Telescope, whose first results are due out later this year, should be able to see whether an event horizon really exists. Wow. Cool. But there's a second way that doesn't rely on direct imaging and can find the answer anyway. Supermassive black holes occur not only at our own galaxy's center, but at the central cores of most large galaxies throughout the universe. Our Milky Way's black hole, at 4 million solar masses, may actually be on the low end, and many galaxies have black holes that extend up to into the billions or even tens of billions of solar masses. The bigger a black hole is, the larger the cross-sectional area of its event horizon is predicted to be, meaning that it has a much larger chance for a passing object to impact it. God, these are all great pictures. Too bad I can't show them to you directly yet. The largest known black holes have diameters of about 10 times the size of Pluto's orbit. Sweet. Meaning that if we view very large numbers of them for long enough, we should witness a star running into one of them eventually. The Pan-STARRS telescope, having just completed a huge set of deep observations for 3.5 years, covering some 3/4 of the entire sky repeatedly. He was able to look for transient events or temporary brightenings and dimmings. If event horizons are real, swallowed stars wouldn't create a transient signal, but a star colliding with a hard surface would create a significant burst of light. True. According to Webb and Liu, a scientist who studied these observations to test the hard surface theory, given the rate of stars falling onto black holes and the number of or density of black holes in the nearby universe, we calculated how many such transients Pan-STARRS should have detected over a period of operation of 3.5 years. It turns out it should have detected more than 10 of them if the hard surface theory is true. Given all the black holes with masses greater than 1 million solar masses, there should have been a definitive signature if there's a hard surface outside of the black hole's event horizon. Yet no signature was seen. Ramesh Narayan. Again, names are hard. Was happy to articulate what it all meant. Our work implies that some and perhaps all black holes have event horizons and that material really does disappear from the observable universe when pulled into these exotic objects. As we've expected for decades, general relativity has passed another critical test. Of course, it's not really possible to prove that the event horizon is real, but this work allows some impressive constraints to be placed. Again, awesome photos. Wish I could put them on the video so you guys could see. If there's a hard surface, it must be within 1.01% the radius of the expected event horizon. Given the lack of transient signals observed, a heat signature in the optical infrared would be expected, which is exactly what pan-stars would be sensitive to. Yet nothing was observed in the future, or the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope, LSST, which will have more than 20 times the light gathering power of pan-stars, will be able to constrain the event horizon to a ridiculously small size. But the LSST won't begin doing science until 2021 if things remain on schedule. Good luck with that, guys. Because we all know what happens sometimes with NASA. 1 second. So, another such things. I mean, you only have to look at that movie, The Martian, or whatever, however the frack that title's pronounced, and to know that when something can go wrong, it generally does. By that point, the data from the Event Horizon Telescope will already be in. If the Event Horizon is actually physically real, we won't need indirect proof like this. We'll already have a picture. In the meantime, we should celebrate the new evidence we have and recognize what it means when something falls into a black hole. Well, there's no bounce back, shattering, or ejecta from within. Once you slip past the event horizon, you're destined to fall all the way into the central singularity. As far as black holes go, there really is a point of no return. And that's the end of the article. On to the next one. And yep, we're having a gaming article this week. A procedural space adventure, The Long Journey Home, is out now. I'll link you to the article. And that definitely looks like a really cool picture. You'll be able to see it. I managed to remain largely in the dark about The Long Journey Home until now, save for the knowledge that PC gamer contributor Richard Cobbett, however the frack it's pronounced, is writing it, and that it looks like this generation's Star Control. Well, you probably know Daedalic Entertainment for its sumptuously illustrated adventure games, The Whispered World, Memoria et al. This first from Daedalic Studio West is instead a procedurally generated jumbled role-playing adventure set in an endlessly shifting universe. Sounds a bit like what No Man's Sky was going for and failed miserably at. Let me adjust the grip on the camera here. And we liked the look of the game back in March of last year, but now the Laundry Home has begun, which is to say it's out now. And here it is on GOG, on Steam. Oh, and here's the launch trailer, which was actually uploaded on the day the game came out. Weird. I'm going to watch later on the video so that I can share it with you guys. The premise is reminiscent of Star Trek Voyager. Love that show. Oh, I was alive when it was coming out on TV, but I missed it. But since I've seen reruns, and it's actually pretty dang good, despite what others say. In that you begin the game stranded on the wrong side of the universe, having to maneuver all manner of environmental hazards, ethical quandaries, and improbably shaped aliens on your dangerous journey back to Earth, much like our own probably. That universe is procedurally generated, so you won't have to repeat your adventure exactly when you inevitably croak in the cold expanse of space. Yeah, because, again, in Voyager, Janeway did make the offhand comment of it would take this many years to get home. And that was if they were flying directly towards Earth without having to make any course corrections or stop for supplies. That is at maximum warp, or the whole way. Which, according to my sources, Voyager could not do. At all. Here's a bit more from the game description. The long journey home combines the endless freedom of space with a new, open questing system that always leaves you in command. Deliver the stranded GLUKKT to his home world as he asks, or to your new slaver friends, attempt to make allies with everybody, or with everyone, or pin your hopes on the tougher races and hope they never turn on you. Jump by jump, make hard decisions and live with the consequences. In a universe that is never the same twice, there's a 10% launch discount on both GOG and Steam. And that ends on June 6th. And that's the end of the article. On to a bit of a channel update. So as I said in the intro of the video, the channel's back. You can expect our regular content. And however, tomorrow, I'll be leaving for a men's retreat with my church. While there, I will maybe get some nature videos or whatever for you guys that I'll post when I get home. Afterwards, we'll be resuming the Super Sub Shoutout Sunday, which quite frankly, I have more subs now than when I started it, and at least 3 more. Huh? And then I'll work on getting the reading the history of Planet Z thing back going for you guys. Yes. And then we'll keep going from there. Yeah. I am still working on getting software on the computer to capture, what I'm seeing on the screen, in order to do Let's Plays. I have a microphone in a drawer here that I can hook up so that it can capture my voice. And then I also will be doing a number of games as Let's Plays. I'll have to work out a schedule for those games, but I will be working on this. So, it's coming, guys. Just, I need the time. I need to work on it. It'll be here. Just, please be patient. Well, that concludes this week's episode of ZI Weekly News. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you on the battlefield.